According to my bitrate, I'm not live. No, I'm live. Alright, well. Hello, everybody. I'm the Vulgar Tabby here for FNAF 2. And you're probably wondering, God, it's early for me to be streaming. Well, unfortunately, I have to be at work for 3:30 today, and I'm working till midnight, so I have to do it early today, otherwise there won't be a stream today. So, we're gonna start early with what I've been told is probably the hardest of the FNAF games because of how random it can be, or how overwhelming it can be. But I've also heard that this is probably the worst one, so we're gonna figure that out now. Oh, hang on. There we go. Now I'm looking scared. Gotta get in the right mood, even though I'm playing this at 10:30 in the morning. Help wanted. Grand reopening. Vintage pizzerias are given new life. Come to be a part of the new face of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. What could go wrong? $150 a week. Alright, well, the first FNAF game was pretty tense. Oh, I actually have to use the keyboard.
Hello? Hello? Hello and welcome to your new summer job at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. I'm here to talk you through some of the things you can expect to see during your first week here and to help you get started down this new and exciting career path. Now, I want you to forget anything you may have heard about the old locations, you know. Some people still have a somewhat negative impression of the company. That old restaurant was kind of left to rot for quite a while, but I want to reassure you, Fazbear Entertainment is committed to family fun and above all, safety. They've spent a small fortune on these new animatronics. Facial recognition, advanced mobility, they even let them walk around during the day. Isn't that neat? But most importantly, they're all tied into some kind of criminal database so they can detect a predator a mile away. Heck, we should be paying them to guard you. Now that being said, no new system is without its kinks. You're only the second guard to work at that location. The first guy finished his week but complained about conditions. We switched him over to the day shift. So, hey, lucky you, right? Mainly he expressed concern that certain characters seemed to move around at night and even attempted to get into his office. Now, from what we know, that should be impossible. That restaurant should be the safest place on Earth. So while our engineers don't really have an explanation for this, the working theory is that the robots were never given a proper night mode. So when it gets quiet, they think they're in the wrong room. So then they go try to find where the people are, and in this case, that's your office. So our temporary solution is this.
This is gonna be hard. I'm trying to get used to putting the mask on really fast.
Once in a while, switch over to the prize counter video feed and wind it up for a few seconds. It doesn't seem to affect all of the animatronics, but it does affect one of them. And as for the rest of them, we have an even easier solution. You see, there may be a minor glitch in the system, something about robots seeing you as an endoskeleton without his costume on and wanting to stuff you into the suit. So hey, we've given you an empty Freddy Fazbear head. Problem solved. You can put it on any time and leave it on for as long as you want. Eventually anything that wandered in will wander back out. Something else worth mentioning is kind of the quirky modern design of the building. You may have noticed there are no doors for you to close. But hey, you have light, and even though your flashlight can run out of power, the building cannot. So don't worry about the place going dark. Well, I think that's it. You should be golden. Check the lights, put on the Freddy head if you need to. Keep the music box wound up. Piece of cake. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
God, you got there fast. Come on, Freddy, just attack. Come on, Freddy. Fuck's sake, Freddy. Alright. There's Bonnie. Oh, Bonnie's back. But it doesn't matter. We're out. Oh. Oh my god. That's tense. That is intense.
Hello? See, I told you your first night wouldn't be a problem. You're a natural. By now I'm sure you've noticed the older models sitting in the back room. Those are from the previous location, and we just use them for parts now. The idea at first was to repair them. They even started retrofitting them with some of the newer technology, but they were just so ugly, you know? And the smell. So the company decided to just go in a whole new direction and make them super kid-friendly. Those older ones shouldn't be able to walk around, but if they do, the whole Freddy head trick should work on them too, so whatever. I love those old characters. Did you ever see Foxy the Pirate? Oh wait, Foxy. Oh yeah, Foxy. Hey listen, that one was always a bit twitchy. I'm not sure if the Freddy head trick will work on Foxy. If for some reason he activates during the night, and you see him standing at the far end of the hall, just flash your light at him from time to time. Those older models would always get disoriented with bright lights. It would cause a system restart or something. Come to think of it, you might want to try that on any room where something undesirable might be. It might hold him in place for a few seconds. That glitch might have carried over to the newer models too. One more thing, don't forget the music box. I'll be honest, I never liked that puppet thing. It's always thinking, and it can go anywhere. I don't think the Freddy mask will fool it, so just don't forget the music box. Anyway, I'm sure it won't be a problem. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
He goes out. There she is. Oh, Balloon Boy's moving. And Chica's in the vent. Oh, good. They're both in the vent. All right, we done? Come on, come on. Whoa. They were both in there? That was weird. Over balloon. I think I'm gonna have to ask you to fuck off. I think I'm far enough along that the music box is not worth worrying about anymore. Oh, for fuck's sake, Balloon Boy. Alright. Ooh. Ooh. Oh my god. It's like fighting off the undead over here. Okay. Yeah, when you boot up the game, it plays another one of these cutscenes. I didn't get to show it because I was too busy worrying about, like, the aspect ratio. Because the first FNAF game isn't in full screen, well, it's in full screen. It's not, like, 980 It's not in the typical ratio you're expecting these days, so it kind of like looks wrong. It's me. Alright, night 3. This is probably where I die.
Hello? Yeah, I told you wouldn't have any problems. Did, Foxy ever repair the hallway?
Yes.
Probably not. I was just curious. Like I said, he was always my favorite. They tried to remake Foxy, you know? They thought the first one was too scary, so they redesigned him to be more kid-friendly instead of in Kids Cove. To keep the toddlers entertained, you know. But kids these days just can't keep their hands to themselves. The staff literally had to put Foxy back together at the end of every shift. Eventually they just stopped trying and left him as some kind of take apart, put back together attraction. Now he's just a mess of parts. I think the employees refer to him as just the mangle. Oh hey, before I go, I wanted to ease your mind about any rumors you might have heard lately. You know how these local stories come and go and seldom mean anything. I can personally assure you that whatever is going on out there, however tragic it may be, has nothing to do with our establishment. It's just all rumor and speculation, people trying to make a buck, you know. Our guard during the day has reported nothing unusual, and he's on watch from opening till close.
Oh, there you are.
Anyway, hang in there and I'll talk with you tomorrow.
Alright, so there you are. Alright, Bonnie's in the vent. Tika is also in the vent. Hi, Hamboy. How's your morning going? That's good. Glad to hear it. I gotta go to work, later. So, that kind of sucks. I had a good 4 days off, though. So I guess I gotta go to work to make money. There's Bon Bon. Yeah. This is actually a really early stream for me. I don't normally stream before noon. Yep. Ah, Freddy. Good to see you. I can't tell... I don't remember if you're in attack position yet. Don't know why I'm bothering checking there. Balloon Boy. Oh, that's good. Alright. Gotta wait for Balloon Boy to leave. Who else is in the vent? Nobody. Oh, Toy Bonnie's out. Oh, good. There's 3 people in the vents. I think that was too slow. Oh. Can I do something for like 5 fucking seconds? Fuck off. God damn it. Oh my god, I almost died. But I think I won. Nope. I was fast enough for that one. I don't think the puppet can kill me in time. No. Woo! Oh my god, this is getting intense. Ooh, they're staring right at me now. Hello, Golden Freddy. I didn't actually get to see you when I was playing FNAF 1. And I kind of feel bad about that. Like, I didn't get to see Golden Freddy. I kind of wish I did. Alright.
Hello. Hey there, Night 4. I told you you'd get the hang of it. Okay, so, just to update you, there's been somewhat of an investigation going on. We may end up having to close for a few days. I don't know. I want to emphasize, though, that it's really just a precaution. Fazbear Entertainment denies any wrongdoing. These things happen sometimes. It'll all get sorted out in a few days. Just keep an eye on things, and I'll keep you posted. Just as a side note, though, try to avoid eye contact with any of the animatronics side if you can. Someone may have tampered with their facial recognition systems. We're not sure. But the characters have been acting very unusual, almost aggressive towards the staff. They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare. Anyway, hang tight, it'll all pass. Good night.
Damn, Balloon Boy hauling ass. Pretty sure this keeps Mangle out, but I'm not 100% certain. I should keep Foxy at bay. Foxy, fuck off. Finally, some fucking silence. Oh, Bonnie's out. Yeah, they're making it real hard to flash Foxy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god, Balloon Boy. Fuck! God damn it. Alright. Fair play, Foxy. You got me. How many times do I have to flash you to get you to fuck off? The biggest annoying with Foxy is that, like, every time he moves into the hall, you can't do anything about it for, like, 5 seconds. Like, you're just supposed to, like, stand there and take it. Like, look, he's about to jump. Like, if you don't catch him, you die. Where is Balloon Boy, anyway? Will you kindly fuck off? The biggest problem is, like, they come at you, like, all at once, and then there's, like, not a whole lot you can do about it, as well as having to fuck with the music box constantly. Okay, well, Mangle's in the vent. She's easy to deal with. That was too slow. I couldn't even tell Chica was in there. That was faster. Okay, Bonnie's gone. And so is Foxy. Engel's back already? Alright, come on, come on, come on, come on. Alright, who's in the vents? Mangle. Probably Chica too. Foxy's in there. I'm not stopping the spam until he's gone. Nope. Nice try, Chica. Well, now I understand how people got their masks on so fast. They're just waiting for him to pull it down, and then they just react to it. When you try to, like, preempt it, it doesn't really work as well. Because you could just throw your mask down. Throw your mouse down, and, like, bam. Instantaneously. Nope. Oh god, I'm only at 5 a.m. One, two, three, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, go away, Mangle. Thank you. I think we're good on Music Box. I don't think it'll have enough time to kill me now. No. Whew. God, am I gonna beat this game in an hour? Just blitzkrieg through this. Hello, puppet. Or as Markiplier would call it, the baby. Now, if you kind of, like, angle it properly, you... Oh, your head kind of moves. I was like, if you angled it properly, it couldn't really look at you. Alright. I'm curious, can I beat this game in under an hour? Just blitzkrieg through it with only one death. Probably not.
Oh, hey, good job, night 5. Hey, keep a close eye on things tonight, okay? From what I understand, the building is on lockdown, and no one is allowed allowed in or out, you know, especially concerning any previous employees. When we get it all sorted out, we may move into the day shift. The position just became available. We don't have a replacement for your shift yet, but we're working on it. We're going to try to contact the original restaurant owner. I think the name of the place was Fredbear's Family Diner or something like that. It was closed for years, though. I doubt we'll be able to track anybody down. So just get through
Foxy,
one more night.
go away, please. Thank you, Foxy. Good God. He was not going away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Toy Bonnie's here. Which means things might get a little random. Oh my God, let me use the camera. God, they're all here. I did. Woo! Can two animatronics attack at the same time? I'm curious. The answer is yes. Oh, that was too slow. I think Bonnie got me. Fuck! Chica didn't even give me a chance. Just kill me. I didn't even get that far. Couldn't keep the music box wound enough. Like, everyone was coming at once. It's like, it's very hard. Like, I could see why some people, like, refer to this as, like, the hardest one. Because this is definitely, like... There's so much shit going on. And, like, me trying to keep Balloon Boy out was not helping the situation at all. This should be enough to keep Foxy away. Alright, so Balloon Boy's in the vent. So I just need to listen for one more. Come on, let me flash. Bonnie killed me. Back in. Well. Ugh. This music box makes everything harder. Because it's like, like, there's no reason to click on anything else. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, well, box is down the hallway. I think Toy Freddy killed me. Yep. I didn't he wasn't even in the hallway. Okay, I gotta, like, stop trying to figure out where anyone is. I just gotta react to what shit. Like, there's only 3 people I need to really worry about. Because trying to react to what's going on is not working. Well, trying to predict what's coming next is not working. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check left vent. Check. And Balloon Boy's moving. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gotta lock the fuck in. Lock the fuck in, samurai. Nope. I was ready for you that time. I was ready for you. Lock the fuck in, samurai. Gotcha, Chica. I was waiting for you. Too slow, Bonnie. Too slow. I'm getting cocky. Ah, Bonnie was here. Had a feeling he was nearby. That was too slow. I think I got greedy. Keep Foxy away. I did it. I beat the first 5 Nights at Freddy's in under an hour. Let's go. Ah. Not blush. We want to be excited because we won. We won. Like I said, I'm not too interested in doing extracurriculars. Because the purpose is just to beat these games. Like, and I want to, like, incentivize. I want to, like, I'm probably going to make, like, an incentive for me to, like, come back and, like, beat all of the challenge modes. But for right now, that's not really too big of an interest of mine. So the question is like, now what do I do? Because I still got, like, another 3 hours. Honestly, hang on. I know what I want to do. Let me just close this out. And alright, so bring OBS back over. It doesn't need to be on the second monitor. Okay, so I was thinking, watch some YouTube. Alright, so where is it? Where is it? Alright, so window capture. And turn that on, turn this off. There we go. Looking good. Let's watch some horror videos. And just hang out. But first, I want to look at the FNAF 2 trailer. Because this was like the peakish shit when it came out. Not the movie trailer. Fucking hell. Game trailer. Here it is. Because this was like, when this came out, it was like the tightest shit.
Hello?
Hello? Hello, hello?
Well,
Well, if you're hearing this, then chances are you've made a pretty poor career choice. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I like how at the end it sounds like they're just laughing at you. That's always pretty good. But the funny thing is like, I remember when like people like losing their shit when FNAF 2 was announced. Like it was actually like everybody was going, "Oh my god, no doors! Ah! How do you defend yourself? Ah!" It's just really, really funny. I wonder, like, is there like a faint FNAF creepypasta thing? HI Dive has dubs. Yes, thank you. Trapped at Freddy's. Sure, let's look at this. I can't read that.
It was a regular Saturday night. I wasn't in the best mood as I had to babysit my little 8-year-old cousin Alex that night. My aunt and uncle were heading out of town for the night with my parents, and they needed a babysitter. Of course, my parents just had to volunteer me. My dad offered to
yeah,
pay
of
me
course,
30
you're
bucks
standing
to take
right there.
Alex to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. I would have rather stayed home and just watched TV, but making 30
you get to
bucks
keep
to
any
sit
of
at
that
a
money for
pizzeria and
yourself?
watch animatronics for an hour at most seemed like a good deal. Before leaving, my dad handed me 50 bucks, the extra 20 for whatever the cost was for the food and games. I would obviously pocket the change. My aunt and uncle dropped Alex off as they left with my parents. I greeted Alex and tried talking to him, although I didn't expect much conversation from an 8-year-old. It was around 8 o'clock when we left. I had never been to this place. I imagined it would be like Chuck E. Cheese. I did, however, know that this place had a bad history and that it would be closed by the end of the year. Alex seemed excited on the way there. I couldn't relate. I remember having always been afraid of those singing animatronics in these kinds of places when I was younger. We got there at around 8:15. The last show of the night started at around 8:30. I remember outside seeing a help wanted
Dang,
sign for a
you're getting-
security guard. I wondered why
Y'all
a
getting
place
there
like
real
this
late,
would
aren't
even
you?
need a security guard, but I shrugged it off. We sat down at a table and I got a pizza for us.
You don't know how
It
much
tasted no better
animatronics
than
can
a
be
frozen
worse if
pizza,
you can,
or what
like,
you would get
take
at
them
a Chuck E.
apart
Cheese.
with
I
like an
didn't expect
axe.
much more though. The atmosphere seemed a
And
little
just carry out
outdated,
the parts.
like something that would fit in the early 90s. The place wasn't particularly nice or clean, but it was still very popular, which made me wonder what could have
I like how
happened
the
to make it
ambience
have to close
sounds
by
like
the
the
end of
original
year.
Freddy's.
While eating, there was suddenly a loud drum roll, followed by a voice introducing the characters. The kids all cheered as the curtains opened up, revealing 3 animatronic singers, Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. I was shocked. These animatronics looked old and a lot less detailed than I was expecting. They looked creepy. As they sang their
You don't
first song,
say.
Alex, along with all the other kids, seemed to be enjoying it. Even most of the parents seemed to be smiling and having a nice time. But I just stared with a blank expression on my face. The animatronics' movements were pretty smooth and impressive, though. I guess they made up for the looks. After they finished their first song,
Debatably.
the chicken in the back, Chica,
I don't care like
I
how
swear,
smooth. Actually,
turned
the
its
work.
head and looked straight
If
at
it's
me.
if they move
Wasn't by
smoother,
chance.
that actually makes it
Its
worse.
eyes were fixed right on me. I stared back, a little freaked out. Maybe they were programmed to make eye contact like this, but for how long? It was staring at me for at least 30 seconds. Both the other animatronics were turning their heads and eyes to look at the whole crowd, but not Chica. It wasn't until the next song started that Chica finally started moving its head again. I felt a bit relieved, considering maybe I was just being a little paranoid, letting my childhood fear of animatronics get the better of me.
Chica's like, target locked, prepare to get yiffed.
At least Alex seemed to be enjoying himself. The song went on for about 3 minutes before ending. I had at this point completely calmed down until it happened again. As the song ended, Chica turned its head to face me, eyes locked onto mine. But this time, Bonnie turned its head to me as well, making eye contact. What the fuck? I said.
It's gonna be a double
Obviously loud
yiffing
enough for Alex to hear me, as he looked at me with a curious stare.
with a side
I
case
pointed
of
out to Alex that the two
disembowelment.
animatronics were looking at me. He didn't even acknowledge what I said. As Freddy spoke to the audience, both Bonnie and Chica's fake eyes were locked onto mine. My heart started beating twice as fast. At this point, I was freaking out in my seat. Why was nobody turning around to see what the 2 robots were staring at? Was anybody acknowledging what was happening? I got up out of my seat to go refill my
It's
soda
those
at
mind
the
control
fountain,
discs.
frightened to look behind me at the stage. I refilled my cup and stalled by slowly putting on a new lid and straw. I was just waiting for the next song to start, or some kind of intermission. I just couldn't turn around to look at the stage.
And then
Suddenly,
all
I heard
3 of them
Alex
are
call my
looking at
name.
him, right?
I had to turn around now. It's okay, I thought. There was no way the animatronics were still looking at me after leaving my seat. I turned around to look at Alex, but I saw at the corner of my eye the 2 heads staring at me. I dropped my cup of soda on the floor out of shock. An employee came over and asked me if I was alright. I asked him why the hell the 2 animatronics were staring at me. Just as I was saying this, I heard Freddy on stage say it was time for intermission. I turned my head to look at the stage, and the curtains were already closing. The employee explained to me that the animatronics were designed to make eye contact with people before he walked off. I could tell he hadn't taken me seriously. At least the
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear Pizza, where everything has to be fucking awful.
curtains were closed and I couldn't see them anymore. But still, I just couldn't forget how they looked at me. They stared directly at me, but the way they stared at me, it didn't feel happy or friendly. It felt evil. I asked Alex if he
No,
was
they're
ready
not
to
evil.
leave, because I wanted to get the hell out of that place.
Evil would
He told
imply
me he
that
wanted
they
to see
don't
the rest of the show
don't have
and
a
play some
motive.
arcade games.
Evil implies they don't have a motive beyond just wanting to cause pain. No, they want revenge, which can be evil, but it's not inherently evil.
He asked me for my cell phone, telling me that he had to tell his mom something. I handed him my phone and he walked off to the arcade games. As he walked off, I noticed another mini stage away from the main stage. It was called Pirate's Cove. The stage had the curtain closed and a tiny sign out front that read out of order. I asked an employee what it was and why it was closed. He told me that the animatronic that lives on the stage, named Foxy, had a technical malfunction in 1987, causing it to bite out a child's frontal lobe.
He had a mechanical malfunction. Okay, then why don't you just get rid of him? Why are you keeping him out in a where everybody can see him? Just get fucking rid of him, mate. It ain't that hard. Put him in the back room. Tie him down. I don't care. Do something. Just don't leave him out.
Hearing this news, I realized why this place had a troubled history, and why it was closing. It shocked me that if such a horrific accident like this happened, how this place managed to stay open all this time. I was starting to feel uncomfortable staying in that place. I wanted to leave as soon as possible, but I knew Alex was having a good time. I saw him playing some arcade games. I sat back down and just waited. I just wanted the show to end as soon as possible so we could leave. About 5 minutes passed until the intermission was over and the curtains were opening back up. A lot of the kids that had gotten up to play games didn't return to the show area. I couldn't really blame them. I never found animatronics entertaining when I was younger either. Alex didn't come back either. I know I should have probably just gotten away from the stage and played the games with Alex, but part of me was curious. I needed to see what was going on and if these things would still stare directly at me with their evil plastic eyes. Freddie and Bonnie made jokes and interacted with the kids in the audience a bit before starting their third song. It was interesting though. Most animatronics were attached to the floor, only able to move from the torso up.
Anyone who's told you that is lying.
These guys, their legs seemed to have free movement, allowing Freddie and his friends to walk across the stage. It was incredible and terrifying. The third song ended.
Because then they're gonna get off the stage and kill you dead.
The three robots made jokes and interacted with the kids. None of them even turning their heads in.
Actually, hang on. No, I'm wrong. He was talking about how like normal people have them bolted to the stage. Well, that's not entirely true. True. They're on track sometimes. Yeah, no, that was a dumb bit.
My direction. I felt a weird mix of feelings. Relief and discontentment. Why was I anticipating it? Why did I want them to stare at me?
Notice me, Freddy Senpai.
Because of all my thoughts. As it ended, the three friends started to say their farewells to the children. At this point, I was convinced that they weren't going to stare at me anymore. And that maybe the worker was right. Maybe they were set to make eye contact with people. It was almost 9 o'clock.
Sustained eye contact for over 30 minutes?
Most of the parents and kids started to head for the doors. Alex came to me and told me he had to go to the bathroom. The public men's room had an out-of-order sign on it. I asked an employee where he could use the bathroom, and she said that he could use the employee restroom. The employee pointed Alex to the bathroom. There was an announcement
we'll just throw you in a
that the place
porta
was
potty.
now closed. I waited for a few more minutes. It seemed that I was the last person there. Even most of the employees had left. I stood there growing impatient until I noticed something at the corner of my eye. No, it couldn't be. I turned my head to see that all three of them were looking at me, the same ominous stare.
Well, apparently they don't have anything else to look at because the place is closed.
I couldn't even choke out the words to call for an employee. It was time to get the fuck out of there.
Get that motherfucker!
I stormed down the hallway quickly, bursting into the employee restroom. I called for Alex. He didn't respond. I looked under the stalls to see if anybody was in them, and I saw Alex's shoes. I immediately felt relieved and stood by the door, waiting. I waited for what felt like another 5 minutes. I didn't want to.
They stole his soul
to make him feel awkward, but I had to. I asked if he was almost done in there because the place was closed, but he didn't respond. I started to become curious because I'd been standing there
The
for a
employee
long
was
time,
Afton.
and he hadn't made a single sound. I walked up to the stall and knocked. As I knocked, the stall door creaked open to reveal nothing but Alex's shoes. He wasn't in there.
He got stuffed.
I heard it come from outside the bathroom. It was a huge bang. It sounded like some kind of...
That was not a bang. That was someone moving a bookshelf across a floor. That was not a bang. Just... Okay.
door closing. I ran out of the bathroom to find that the main lights had been turned out, with the only source of light being the dimly lit night lights. I made my way back to the lobby, or at least what I would call the lobby in this place. I screamed for Alex, and I screamed for help, but to no avail. This is insane, I thought. What kind of place completely shuts down in such a rush like this? It was probably
The kind of
only
place
10
that
after
knows this
9.
place is fucked.
I ran to the entrance, thinking maybe Alex was waiting outside, only to realize that I was right. There was a giant metal door blocking the entrance. I didn't know what to think of this. I didn't know how to react. I was
Does this place
trapped
not
in
have
this
windows?
place. Why would a place like this have a giant metal door like that? What were they trying to keep out? We're in.
They're trying to keep him in, boy.
I had to call my parents, or the police, or someone. Alex was missing and I was trapped in there. I reached into my pocket for my phone. Empty. I remembered
got
that
his
I had
pockets
given it
picked.
to Alex. I tried to calm myself down. I can't be the only person in the building, I thought to myself. And there had to be a phone somewhere in the building. I walked down every hallway I could find looking for a phone, and
What did the
occasionally
kid need
shouting
the
for
phone
somebody.
for?
The only phone I found so far was disconnected. If it weren't for the fact
that
that
doesn't
Alex
help
was
the
by himself
situation
on
any.
a Saturday night, I wouldn't have been in such a panic. What the fuck happened to him? Why were his shoes in the stall? What if somebody had taken him?
They did.
I had to call the police.
He's in a
but there was
Freddy
no
suit in the
fucking
back.
phone. I
A
walked down another hallway,
golden
finding
Freddy
a door I
suit.
hadn't checked yet that had a staff-only sign. I opened the door only to discover
now the
a room
third
full of
kid
animatronic
strapped in
body
that
parts.
suit.
The room smelled foul, like something was rotting in there,
Ugh,
and I was
sorry.
standing in some kind of thick liquid substance. I got out of that room as quickly as I entered. Seeing those
Oh
animatronic
god,
parts
they're
made me think that
oozing.
maybe Alex was sitting in the dining area, waiting. The dining area was right outside the hall I was in, so I thought I might as well check. Navigating the barely lit building was pretty difficult, but also creepy. When I got to the dining area, I called for Alex, but there was no response. Suddenly, I noticed something through the corner of my eye. I could see that the curtains on the stage had been opened again. I could have sworn they'd been shut after the show. I didn't want to turn my head, in fear of what I was expecting to see. But before I could give myself more time to think, I turned my head to the stage, to see Chica and Freddy on the stage. There was a third one. I knew there was a third one. The bunny. The bunny was missing. Where was
Here
the bunny?
comes Bon Bon.
I was able to make out in the dark the heads of the two animatronics, facing me. I ran out of there as quickly as I could, back into the dark hallways.
You're next, boy.
I stopped to catch my breath, but I
Time to
heard something
die.
coming down from the hall. There were footsteps coming my way. I was saved. Somebody
Kind of
was
funny
there.
how they
I ran closer to
the
the source
animatronics
of the
just
footsteps,
hate
yelling
adults.
for help.
indiscriminately. They just want all adults fucking dead. they don't care who it is. They just see, oh, what's that? You're over the age of 18? Death it is.
As I got closer, I slowed down, noticing that the footsteps were very heavy, unnaturally heavy for a human being. I stopped, thinking something wasn't right. The flickering light ahead of me didn't provide enough light to see the source of the footsteps yet. As the footsteps got closer, I was able to let out a scream.
The fuck? The fucking audio cut out. Oh my, was there a spot that was like muted? Hang on, go back. What the hell happened? Did he put like some copyrighted material and they muted this part?
I was able to let out a scream. The robot started walking toward me, and at that instant, I ran to the nearest room,
Shaking his head
which
like a
happened to
crazy
be a
person.
security room. I looked for anything to defend myself with.
Good luck,
There
buddy.
were no weapons.
That
but
thing
there
is
was a
like
button on the
2,000
wall that seemed
pounds.
to be a door control. The footsteps
I'm
were
pretty
getting
sure unless you
closer,
had a
almost
rocket
outside
launcher,
the
you
room.
couldn't defeat this
I
thing.
ran to the wall and threw my fist
Even
onto
then,
the button,
it would probably
causing
just
a
keep
giant
walking like the
door
Terminator.
to close down to the floor. The robot banged on the door for a few seconds, before the only noise was the buzzing sound of the dim fluorescent light in the room. How was this possible? How could these animatronic performers have the ability to roam freely? Why the hell was that thing following me? These things...
And now it's
are
time
they
for you to play
alive?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
These nightmarish thoughts kept pouring into my mind that I almost didn't even notice the heavy footsteps coming from the opposite direction. I turned around, realizing there was another opening to the room, with an identical door switch. I immediately sprang to the door, slamming my hand on the button, not wanting to see what was coming down that hall. I sat in the room, feeling safe for a few moments, until I remembered that Alex was missing. I had to find a way out of there. But there was no way I could step back into those hallways until I knew those things were gone. There were 2 windows in the room, facing either side, with a view into the hallways. I couldn't see anything outside though. It was pitch black. I noticed that under the door buttons on both sides, there were 2 buttons that were labeled light. Maybe these lights were for outside the security office. I needed to make sure that the robots weren't outside. I flipped the switch on the left side of the room to reveal the bunny's face staring at me through the glass. I hit the light switch again to turn it off. I didn't want to see that thing. I didn't want to see that thing looking at me.
No,
through the
you would
glass.
only see its shadow,
moved
because it would
across
just
the
be
room to the
sticking
other
its
side,
head through the door.
Pressing the light switch. I almost fell to the floor in fear. It was Chica, the animatronic chicken, staring at me through the glass. Her mouth was open disturbingly wide, revealing a second pair of teeth inside of her beak. These teeth were smaller and seemed human-like. She banged her hands on the glass, keeping eye contact with me. I shut the light when I couldn't take the sight of the thing anymore. I sat in the chair in the middle of the room,
Oh, the
balled
good
up
thing-
like a baby.
The good thing Fazbear Entertainment splurged on bulletproof glass.
This can't be happening, I kept telling myself.
Then
Both
the power
robots
went out.
reminded me of their presence with constant knocking on the glass. I feared that they might break the glass. I didn't know what they were going to do to me if they got me, but I imagined the worst. I couldn't see anything through the glass, but I knew they were still there, watching me. While looking around the room, I found a flashlight in one of the drawers, and on the desk I noticed a camera system. I turned it on and a bunch of screens turned on, surveilling probably every room in the building. I looked at a screen displaying the show stage. Freddy the Bear was on the stage, staring right into the camera.
Yeah,
I
because
looked
he
at
just
another
knows
screen that
where you
displayed
are.
the Pirate's Cove that I had seen earlier. There was an animatronic poking its
Chica and Bonnie through their robot speech. Freddy! He got in the freaking office again! God damn it!
head out of the curtains. I remembered that the employee told me that it was named Foxy, and why he was in disrepair. He was still turned on? Then I started to realize it didn't matter if they were turned on or not. These things were fucking alive, and they were evil. I could see the teeth in Foxy, and I knew
Not
that I didn't
evil.
want to be anywhere near him.
Vengeful. There's a difference.
So I kept my eye on that camera to make sure he didn't move. I sat watching the camera for what felt like hours, and it probably was. The tapping on the glass had stopped, and the fox was still peeking its head out of its curtain. I had been so preoccupied with staring at the idle animatronic fox that I forgot to check any of the other cameras. I looked at the screen displaying the empty stage where Freddy was standing not too long ago. He was gone. Suddenly, all of the camera screens filled with static. I was blinded from viewing anything in the building. I started to panic and looked around the room again for anything to help me. I found an old phone hidden behind a pile of papers. I picked it up to hear a dial tone. It was working. I immediately started to dial for my parents, but I realized it would be a better idea to call the police. I redialed for 911. There was no ringing sound, just silence from the phone. I hung it up to try again, but didn't even get a dial tone this time. The bastards must have interfered with the phone. I got up to take one last peek out of the glass to see if the coast was clear to run. I turned the light on at the left side to reveal the shadow of the bunny standing in the dark corner. He's blocking that exit. I turned the right side light on as well to reveal the chicken still looking straight at me through the glass. I shut both of the lights off. I was trapped in there. There was no way I would try to outrun them. I didn't know how fast they were. I sat down in the chair, knowing my
Wait till
only
you see
option
Foxy
was to
running.
wait. I tried to rationalize the situation and calm myself down.
Wait till you see Foxy running. He's gonna run at you like he's doing a 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine.
Alex is 8. It's not like he's a toddler, I thought. And plus, he has my
Nah,
cell
that kid's
phone.
dead.
He probably
dead.
already called his or my parents, and I'm sure they're all on their way here now, I convinced myself. I checked my watch. It was almost 12 already. The cameras were still filled with static, and I was unable to do anything at that point. All I could do was shut my eyes and wait. I shut my eyes, thinking that everything would be fine come morning time. I still don't know how, but I had actually fallen asleep from closing my eyes for a while. I didn't think falling asleep in this kind of situation was possible. Like, your body would be in fight or flight mode. Your adrenaline would be rushing, your body just wouldn't let you fall asleep. But somehow I did.
Yeah, but once you run out of adrenaline, yeah, there's nothing keeping your body going anymore. You just pass out. It's not uncommon. FBI, open up!
I woke to the sickening sound of familiar banging on the glass. It wasn't just a dream. I was still in that godforsaken place. I checked my watch and saw that it was 4 a.m.
Oh, there's the circus music.
I had been asleep for 4 hours. I noticed that the light in the room was a lot dimmer, almost to the point where I couldn't even see the papers that were hanging on the wall anymore. The thumping was coming from the right side. I didn't even turn on the light because I didn't want to see that sickening face of that thing again. Suddenly, the light flickered. I knew the power dying at a time like this would be deadly, because these doors seemed to be powered by the electricity. I made a plan to run as fast as I could, through the left door, if the power went out. It was the only choice I had. The light grew dimmer, and flickered even more. I took one last look at the camera screens, to see that the curtain at Pirate's Cove had been completely opened, and Foxy was nowhere in sight. Just as I saw this, the room went dark. The camera screens turned off, and the power doors opened. The power was out.
See, this is what happens when you don't have phone guy.
Flashlight on. The bunny wasn't anywhere in sight, to my luck. As I ran down the hall, I slipped in something on the floor. I fell hard on my knee. I felt
Oh god, I slipped and ghost splooge.
like I broke it. I moaned in pain, but tried my hardest not to scream. I felt the substance that I slipped in with my fingers. I smelled it. It was blood. I was laying in a big puddle of blood. I immediately assumed it was the blood of Alex and almost let out a cry of pain and sickness.
It's gonna be your blood, too.
I tried to get on my feet, but the pain in my knee was unbearable. I started to crawl down the hall with blood all over my arms and legs. I didn't know where to go or how to escape.
Now you look like you committed a murder.
My luck seemed to have run out because I heard heavy footsteps coming fast down the hall. I had to act quickly, but I didn't know what to do. I looked around me and found a door. I didn't care what room it led to, I just had to get out of the hallway. The footsteps were getting closer. I shut the flashlight and managed to reach the doorknob, pushing the door open. I crawled into the room and pulled the door shut as quickly and quietly as I could. I waited in the darkness.
Foxy would have
as the
just
footsteps
broken through
came
that
closer
door.
and closer until they were right outside the door. And then it stopped. Whatever it was right outside the door. I put my hand over my mouth to muffle my breathing and leaned against the door to block it in case the thing tried to get in. It was probably about 10 seconds, but it felt like a minute before the sound of pots and pans banging around echoed across the building, and I heard footsteps move away from the door. I felt that it was safe to no longer hold my breath, and to turn the flashlight on. The light revealed that I had been sitting in a supply closet. I looked around for any kind of weapon, and to my luck, I found a crowbar sitting on a ledge.
Oh yes, that's gonna help.
This was seemingly the perfect weapon to bash a robot in the face with. I waited about a minute until I thought the coast was clear.
Buddy, it's like hitting a fucking bulldozer with a hockey stick.
My knee wasn't
These
hurting
things are
too
the
bad anymore,
Terminators.
but I didn't want to take the chance of putting pressure on it. Crawling was quieter anyway. As I crawled through the pitch-black hallways, banging into walls, I noticed that almost all of the floors in these hallways were sticky. The stickiness caused my skin to make a peeling sound off the floor each time I lifted my hands or legs.
Ugh.
I didn't think too deep into the stickiness or anything
Why is the floor covered in splooge?
for that matter. I was too focused on getting out of there and finding Alex. As I crawled down the hall, I noticed moonlight shining in through a window in a room up ahead. I hoped the window would be low enough and big enough for me to reach and fit through. I crawled to the doorway, but the sight of two big glowing eyes stopped me. The eyes were fixed on mine, even in the dark. I turned on the flashlight and shined it at the figure. It was Foxy. He looked like a broken, unfinished animatronic with pieces missing altogether. His legs didn't even seem to be finished, as his robotic legs were not covered up by plastic fur, and his feet were just two pieces of metal. He raised his hook hand and started moving quickly towards me. I managed to get up on my feet, ignoring the pain on my knee. I held up the crowbar, ready to swing it like a baseball bat. As soon as the robot got close enough, I swung the crowbar to hit his robotic leg, causing him to fall to the floor. I took this opportunity.
Come on, Foxy. You really gonna fucking fall for that? Runs towards the enemy. Gets immediately fucking owned.
To smash his robotic head numerous times with the crowbar, causing gears to fly out of its face. The eyes were still glowing, fixed on me, but his legs seemed broken, and that was enough to stop him from getting me. I hopped
Until he starts crawling.
The other robots no doubt heard what just happened, so I had to hurry. I reached the window. Luck was on my
kill
side,
Foxy!
because the window was reachable and
Kill
big
his
enough to
ass!
squeeze through. I swung the crowbar at the window, but it didn't break. I suddenly heard many pairs of footsteps coming from down the hall. I swung the crowbar again. The window cracked, but didn't break. The footsteps were right outside the room now. I swung the crowbar one more time, as hard as I could, finally causing the glass to shatter. I took a painful leap off both legs to reach the window. I pulled myself up and was about to jump out the window until something grabbed my leg. I turned around to see Freddy Fazbear standing behind me, holding onto my good leg, along with Chica and Bonnie standing behind him.
Why would you want to leave?
Asked Freddy. Without thinking, I pulled my leg up, causing pain in my knee, and kicked it back with full force into the animatronic's head. This caused it to lunge back a bit and loosen its grip on my leg, giving me just enough time to jump out of the window. I didn't care about the returning pain to my knee. I hopped away from the building as fast as I could, with the only sound I heard being the screaming of the robots to come back. I screamed Alex's name at the top of my lungs 3 or 4 times before getting in my car and speeding to my house. I called the cops and explained the whole situation. I then called my parents afterwards. My mother picked up the phone after calling 3 times, asking why I was calling so late. She screamed into the
Oh, gee, thanks, Mom. There you go, so late. I almost died!
phone, begging me to tell her it was a joke when I told her I lost Alex. When the cops arrived, I showed them a picture of Alex and explained to them about the robots. I told them that the robots must have been somehow programmed to kill any intruders at night. I tried to make it seem as realistic as possible. They looked at each other like I was crazy, like anyone would. However, they assured me that they would have the police department look into it. After investigating, the police found nothing. No blood, no broken glass, no foul smells, no Alex, and all the animatronics were in their proper places. It's been almost a month. Alex was never found. My aunt and uncle still cry their eyes out every day. My parents don't even talk to me. But what kills me the most is knowing the evils that are inside of that place, that family-oriented place. And that even if I told anyone what happened, they would think I'm crazy. I can't prove what happened to Alex, but I know that whatever happened to him, those fucking robots had everything to do with it.
presentation wasn't that bad, actually. Ooh. Wait for them to let their guard down and then hit them with the Bonnie. Not bad, not bad. Ooh. Ah, my phone renewed. Hey. My phone data plan renewed. Oof. Suffering some screen tearing. I think it might be from OBS trying to capture this. Well, I think that's good enough for tonight. Or for today. Tonight. Yeah, it's not even after. It's like just past 12, and I'm like, it's already nighttime. Honestly, I thought it was going to take longer for me to beat FNAF 2. I wasn't expecting me to beat it even faster than FNAF 1. Oh my god. I'm like, wow, this is the hardest one. And it's like, huh? I just blitzkrieged through it, like, so much so that I'm like, I don't want to end a stream after an hour. We got anything else? There's a There's a whole fucking playlist? What the fuck? Reading strange creepypastas. I might watch that one on my own. Oh my god, screen tear. Free K-pop games. Oh god, YouTube, what are you doing to me? Black Soda. This FNAF fan game has the fastest animatronic of all time. Reminds me of that one Astral Spriff video where he was doing a fan game where Freddy literally just like bulldozes him at Mach 3. Oh hey, look, my video. That's weird. No views. Because I suck. Oh, it's almost 3 years. Whatever. We'll call it a day. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I am the Vulgar Tabby. And let's hope the next stream takes longer to do. I will see you all tomorrow. I have the day off, thankfully. So I should be able to do a more longer game. Anyway, see you tomorrow. And have a good fucking day.